my God, we've got breaking news
I'm being
coming
fair
in
from my angle,
that Sunanda Pushkar is dead. Her body has been found in a hotel room. Shashi Tharoor was supposed to join us at 9:30. His phone is now unreachable. This is very, very unfortunate. This is deeply disturbing for people who've known Sunanda and Shashi. She went through a really bad patch. She was trying to call me past midnight last night. She was at the Leela Hotel. She told us last evening that her house was being fumigated and she'd moved away, but Shashi was in their Lodi estate residence. We've just learned that Sunanda Pushkar has committed suicide. She was at the Leela Hotel. She'd watched Center Stage. She sent me a few responses. She was also on Twitter last evening. She watched Center Stage, where we had Meher Tarar, the Pakistani journalist whom she accused of being in a relationship with Shashi Tharoor. There were some private BBM conversations that she'd put out on Twitter. Shashi was quite upset and angry. He initially said that this was someone hacking into his account. Sunanda Tharoor countered that by saying that no, it was she who put those tweets out because she wanted the truth to be known. She'd also been telling people in private conversations that she was considering moving away from Shashi, considering even divorcing him. This is a very, very unfortunate situation, and I want Veer Sangvi, if you can, and I know it's just happened, if you can give us your reaction, Veer, to this very, very disturbing story, Sunanda Tharoor committing suicide. Shashi, Veer.
Rahul, I'm horrified. I'm almost speechless. I don't know what's been happening in their marriage recently, what was happening. Clearly things were not well, but I did know Sunanda, and she struck me as being the epitome of life. She would enter a party, the room would light up, she would go up to people, she was uninhibited, she was exuberant. It's hard to think of somebody who was so full of life, so ready to spread affection, so ready with a laugh, to no longer be there. I'm completely horrified.
This is terrible. This is really bad, disturbing news. Chetan Bhagat, your sense of this Twitter, you've been on Twitter yourself very actively. This Twitter row, a private spat turning into a public spectacle, leading now to the death of Sunanda Tharoor.
Well, I mean, I have met I mean, I'm just stunned. I mean, it's the first time I'm in the middle of a TV debate, and I now kind of see your job and how difficult it is that suddenly news comes. And I was just, yeah, I mean, she's been active on Twitter. She's been frequently responding to my tweets on issues and everything. And something, you know, you just feel like, oh my God, like people should have talked this out, and we could, somehow this could have been prevented, or this wasn't necessary or something, because I think, I mean, we just don't know what happened. It's just, I'm in shock, and I mean, it's too shocking even, and then I guess condolences to everybody involved. But at the same time, I mean, I think we are as stunned. The whole panel is completely stunned.
Sunanda SMS'd me at 12:57 last night, saying that we were very unfair to her by giving Meher Tarar an opportunity to make her points and not giving her an adequate opportunity, and she wanted to set up an interview with Headlines Today to put forth her view on this entire saga. And we told her that we'd set up an interview, but we were at the AICC through the day and therefore unable to get away. And I was thinking we'd do this interview tomorrow, where in the midst of all of that we're receiving this terrible news that Sunanda Tharoor has committed suicide. She was staying at the Leela Hotel in Chanakyapuri, and she'd been there. I know that she was taking antidepressant drugs because she'd taken some drugs. She wanted us to come and meet her yesterday in the afternoon. And Chetan, this just shows how upset and worked up she was with this, because obviously the fact that she would take private BBMs, private messages sent by a Pakistani journalist, and put them on a public platform shows how things were drastically wrong in her marriage with Shashi Tharoor.
Yeah, I mean, Rahul, I mean, I'm not, I mean, like I said, I'm not that involved with this, but I do remember tweeting this morning that, and their tweets are there, that this, whatever has happened is a domestic disturbance and their personal life, and people should just move on, and it doesn't really impact any it doesn't have any political angle or anything. But I think somewhere down the line there is a sense of there will be a sense of shock in people who were just reading this news yesterday, and I guess we don't realize how much some of these news items hurt people, and how real,
no, but
how
in
we are
this,
dealing
in
with
this
real
case,
people.
Veer Sanghvi, she's the one who put the news out. You know, you can accuse the media of telecasting that story, but she's the one, in realizing fully well that Twitter is a public medium, she's the one who put that story out. Obviously, she was very upset, and talk of her and Shashi Tharoor divorcing has been in the Delhi social circuit for the longest time. There have been occasions when they've been separated, they patched up, came back together, and that's the way it had been. But she's the one who put the story out, reflecting really how upset and cut up she was with the way things were. Veer Sanghvi.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Rahul. I don't think you can blame the media for this. I think there has been the odd trickle of news about problems in their marriage, but on the whole, the media has been very responsible. All of this exploded not because of some inquisitive journalist, but because Sunanda herself clearly wished to make it public. The last time I met her, and this was some weeks ago, she spoke about Meher, she spoke about people coming and telling her about it, and though the couple were obviously very publicly affectionate and they seemed close, you wouldn't guess just looking at them there was a problem. You could tell talking to her that there was a certain level of upset, depression. She was not sure what was happening. You could tell that she was not her normal self if you spoke to her. If you just saw her, she was as ebullient as she'd always been, and there was lots of public displays of affection. But you always had the sense with Sunanda that she was a woman who lived life to the extremes. If she liked somebody, she would go up to them at a party, she would hug them, she would dance with them, she wouldn't give a damn what people thought. I've known people she's gone up to and called yellow journalists, threatened to throw drinks in their faces, picked fights with. She was not a woman who did things by half measures. She lived life to the fullest. She did everything perhaps to extremes, and perhaps sadly this is the consequence of that.
You know, I don't want to read the private messages out on national television, but she's also sent me several responses on Twitter. This is after watching Center Stage last evening, when we took up this issue of the public spat, private spat, and the public spectacle it had turned into. So I'm now going to take you through the responses that she sent. Rahul Kanwal, this is 20 hours ago, around midnight. That's why I think when she was watching the midnight repeat of Center Stage, she says, Rahul Kanwal saw your show and must tell you that Meher Tarar has lied outright. We had Meher Tarar, as I told you, live from Pakistan. She says, Meher has lied outright. I have all her emails and her BBMs to my husband. I don't lie. Because remember, when I asked Meher Tarar, and I'm going to try and get my producers to pull that interview out just now, Meher Tarar had said she wasn't on BBM with Shashi Tharoor. Meher Tarar had also said that she wasn't sending anything to Shashi which she couldn't admit openly in public. So Sunanda says, I saw your show and I tell you that Meher Tarar had lied. In the same breath, she says, Rahul Kanwal, sadly, I'm too sick at the moment, but we'll talk about it one day, and it's been disgusting for Meher Tarar. She told me that she had tuberculosis, that she would probably die in a year. That's what the doctors had told her. I thought that that was probably because she was all worked up, which is why she was probably saying this. Now, her next response is, Rahul Kanwal, and she's marked Meher Tarar, and we just have a graphic ready very soon of what she's saying. She says, not just that I have her BBMs to various other men in 2013, she is a woman I am ashamed to call one. Shame, she says. She goes on, this is 1 hour later. Again, you got Meher Tarar and Rahul Kanwal marked on this. She says, my husband, Shashi Tharoor, and I are very happy. So her Meher isn't going to bother me. All her lies on TV amused, she says.